How's it going? Today we are looking at Transformers Universe, or Transformers Classics, Tankor. Uh, or should I say it's Octane. Apparently back in Universe, Tankor had a identity issue. Or Octane had an identity crisis. So for some reason they produced him with the name Tankor instead of Octane. Starting in vehicle mode here, or at least one of his modes, because this is one of the few that I do genuinely like. It's like a armored car almost, and with the weapon storage on the side of his truck cab. It's still one of my favorites. He is well over 20 years old, so everything he has will not be up to modern standards. And yeah, with the way the front of the cab of the truck is, I like the dark blue, but from say this angle, it looks really nice. When you turn the truck to the side, that's where I have an issue with. Fairly hollow back here. At least the sides of the truck look like the underkibble of a truck almost. But then if you pay close attention, that's a hand. That's not a real wheel. This thing's over 20 years old. I'm not going to nitpick it any further. Yeah. For size comparison, I'm going to bring in my only Universe figures. Here we have classic Starscream, or semi-modern G1 Starscream. Yeah, they look cohesive together. It's almost realistic. I think this was like a later variation of Starscream because focus is off. Because when I bought this figure, he had no Decepticon symbols on his wings. Those are ones I just slapped on there temporarily, but I will eventually get back to fixing it. I think this was the rub signal, or rub sign one. I could be wrong. And he's also missing his null rays, but I'm not too concerned for that. We're going to bring in Titanium Optimus Prime. And he's roughly the same size as Prime. Raise the camera up a little bit. He's roughly the same size as Prime from back to front. Okay. Not paying attention to the ladder. And we're going to bring in Universe Onslaught. And that is where the scale gets thrown out the window. If you guys don't have one, grab one. This is awesome. So yeah. So Tankor is a triple changer. So we're gonna get started into his triple change, or to turn him into his other mode. First, we're going to pull off this. This becomes a separate piece later on. And we will start by... So we're going to separate the front of the truck there. Just bring these up out of the way. And flip these around. And we'll just get the back of the plane out. So we're going to fold forward these two truck bits. And we'll tab it all together so it looks like that. And fold down the two rear tail wings. And that's the first half of the plane. Next, we're going to grab this entire black block here. Fold it forward. I think it should floop into place. Or maybe not. Yeah, I think that's as close as I'm going to get it. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to floop. Whatever. And on this little blue hinge here, we're going to take this entire chunk of the front of the plane. I'm going to fold it up like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold it up into place. Fix all of that. We're going to tab the front of the plane together. If I remember correctly, these simply just flare out, so it looks like that. And then we are going to bring the wings down. Alright. And that's the plane. This last bit we had to pull off. It's just going to peg back in underneath here. Like so. Make sure everything's lined up when you're putting it in. I don't know, it goes like this actually. Does it go like that? Yeah. It's just like that. Alright, so this painted silver piece here at the top is facing forward. And that is the second mode, or the second vehicle mode for Tankor. And this, even though I like the truck mode a lot better, fixed it. Even though I like the truck mode a lot better, this is also really good plane. It does clean up a lot better than the truck. And she does also roll. The weapons we did take off earlier, they are simply going to plug into, there's a little port right there beside the propeller. I'm going to fit the guns right into there. Grab the other one. And that's probably the most deadly plane I have seen in a while. Back to the comparisons. Universe Starscream. These two look really good together. Yeah. Optimus Prime. And Onslaught. So this thing also Tankor. We're going to put Tankor into his last mode, which is his robot mode. So we're going to start by bringing up the wings like so. Get those out of the way. I'm going to unpeg this entire bottom piece. This becomes a weapon for him. And we're going to extend the back of the plane. These tail pieces we're going to fold in. Unpeg that. Alright. Going to fold that out. And flip the front of the truck back up. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to unfold this piece here. You have to get your nail into the back of it just to get a better grip of it. And then we're going to flip or rotate this entire cab section of the truck back up that way. Legs are going to rotate around, so it's looking like, so that's what his lower half looks like. Raise the camera a little bit here. For the arms, what we're going to do is we're going to separate the nose of the plane. These here just thoop down twice on a black little armature. I'm going to swing these up like that, and we're going to unpeg the cockpit from the nose. These will become his arms and hands. So make sure it all looks like that. Bring this down and rotate that. Okay, and we're going to fold these back up so it looks like that, and we can slide Tankor's head back up, or Tankor's head up, and we can fold those out. The way I like to do it is I like to fold the wings up like that, just to give him a little more presence. And that looks to be it for Tankor. And he looks good. He is definitely a early 2000s toy just by the sculpt and the articulation. But all in all, he looks good for his age. Start with articulation. His head can rotate barely any. Arms can go forward all the way. Back, you'll take the shoulder tower with him, but back all the way. Arms can barely go in and out, but you can also kind of cheat it with the arm pillars here. Legs, you can go forward all the way, back all the way. He's got about less than 90 degrees of bend, and he does actually have wrist rotation, which I'm very impressed with it for this age of toy. Try and fix him a little bit. For weapons, he does still have his little guns here, which you can stack. From the look, you can stack them here, or stack them on top of each other. Tongue cannot work today, and he can hold it as a regular handheld weapon. Quad barrels of doom, as well as this piece we took off earlier can be split apart. There we go, into a melee piece or some form of melee weapon. What I typically like to do is rotate his wrists, then plug it in just for it to be like a natural look while he holds it, almost like a spear. If you use the spear the wrong way, like that. Okay, yep. He is very awkward. You could splay out his wings like that, but I like to splay them up like that. At least it helps me with storage as well as being able to put the guy on a shelf. My autofocus is not working today. So yeah. For comparison, here he is with Titanium Optimus Prime. Scales fairly well with that. Classics Starscream. And Starscream's a little shorter than him. And lastly, we'll bring in Onslaught. Universe Onslaught. And you give him the chance and he'll make sure you look like an Onslaught come the end of the day. Oh. So yeah. So that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be working on a few in the background, but might not post the rest of the week. So hope you all enjoyed. Have yourselves a great night.